Today on World News, the nominees for this year's Oscars are in, and Disney's hoping to come home with a lot of gold. Walt Disney World is also testing out a new transportation service, and we have an update on the monorail system. Good day, and welcome to WDW and Beyond's World News. I'm your host, Brian. Thank you for allowing us to spend this time with you. To our top story of the week, the nominees for this year's Oscars are in. Rob, what has Disney been nominated for this year?
Well, Brian, the nominees for the 90th Oscars were announced last week. Disney's 2017 releases earned 10 nominations in 9 categories, with Disney's Pixar's Coco and Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast garnering 2 nods each, while Star Wars The Last Jedi was recognized in 4 categories. The awards will be presented on Oscar Sunday, March 4th, in a live broadcast hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on ABC. Golden Globe winner Coco, Disney's Pixar stunning celebration of family, was nominated for Best Animated Feature, and its signature ballad Remember Me is among the nominees for Best Original Song. And also, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez wrote the lyrics for these, who also wrote the Frozen lyrics. Beauty and the Beast was nominated for spectacular sets and costume. Production designer Sarah Greenwood and set decorator Katie Spencer was named in production design category, and Jacqueline Duran is a nominee for costume design. Greenwood, Spencer, and Dunham are dual nominees for Beauty and the Beast and for Darkest Hour. John Williams, who composed the score for Star Wars The Last Jedi, breaks his own Oscar record with his nomination for Best Original Score. The latest nod is Williams' 51st, which is more than any other living person. Star Wars The Last Jedi's thrilling visuals netted a nomination in the visual effects category, and the film's innovation sound was also recognized by the Academy for sound editing and sound mixing, giving this film a total of 4 nominations. Marvel Studios' intergalactic space adventure Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 also received a nomination for its visual effects. And the delightful short Lou, which opened in front of Disney Pixar Cars 3, was named for the animated short film category. So Brian, that's all for us at the entertainment desk. Looking forward to the Oscars and Disney bringing home a lot of them. Back to you.
Thanks, Rob. Shannon's back at the travel desk this week with an exciting addition to the minivan service, as well as a special champions package for the Super Bowl. Shannon, where are the minivans taking us now?
Hey, Brian. Well, the Walt Disney World Resort is extending its on-site minivan service to drive select Disney hotel guests to Orlando's International Airport at the end of their stay, according to guest reports. It's one way only. You'll still have to take the Disney Magical Express bus from the airport to your Disney hotel, but for families that don't wish to conform to Disney's bus schedule on their return home, the minivan offers a more customized, on-demand service. It's going to cost you. Reports say that Disney is charging $150 for a one-way trip. The minivan will carry up to 6 passengers and includes a couple of car seats for children. The minivan to the airport service is another test at this point, so prices and availability can change at any time. For more information on this, you go to our Trip Resource tab on our website at wdwnbeyond.com. Also, we have some exciting news from Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resorts. The winner of this year's big football game between Philadelphia and New England will celebrate in victory style, and now the fans can too. The Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort is rewarding fans with a Champions package exclusive for residents of the winning team's state. Based on the outcome of the big game, residents of either Pennsylvania or New England can exclusively book the Champion package, which will help winning fans celebrate and being pampered like the pros. Upon working up an appetite cheering for their team, guests will receive a $100 credit for a championship caliber meal at the restaurant of the NFL's winningest coach, Don Shula, Shula's Steakhouse, or any restaurant at the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort, and they will enjoy a complimentary room upgrade. The Champions package is eligible for stays through December 24th, 2018, with a minimum of 3 nights. There is no better place to celebrate a team's victory than a place known for championship celebrations. The resort recently completed a $140 million renovation that completely transformed every guest room, the Dolphin lobby, and introduced 2 new dining venues. For additional information to make reservations, guests can call 1-800-227-1500 and mention CHAMPS. Guests must have a valid appropriate state identification. Valid New England state include Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, and Connecticut to present upon check-in. Based on rate schedule availability, tax, resort service fees, and gratuities are not included, not valid with any other special offers, promotions, or for existing reservations or groups. That'll wrap things up here at the Travel Desk. Back to you, Brian.
Shannon, thanks so much. Now, Mike has an update regarding the Walt Disney World monorail system, as well as a new test program being launched at Walt Disney World Resorts. Mike, what do you have for us this week?
Well, thanks, Brian. What we've got going on here, I'm sure most people know that earlier this month, there's video posted online of the monorail traveling to Epcot with one of its doors open. Several websites went on and speculated that this could be the end for the monorail, at least for the Epcot line. However, a Disney spokesperson told Local 10 in Orlando that those reports are completely false and there are no plans to discontinue the system, which has existed since Walt Disney World opened in 1971. So we're putting that to rest. And now we're going to move on to another story. Registered nurse first aid centers are being tested at Walt Disney World Resort hotels. A new test will be taking place where registered nurses are running first aid locations at the resort hotels. WDW Magic is reporting that a new pilot test is set to begin for a few resorts that will allow for guests to visit a registered nurse on property, but out of the parks. Beginning soon, Disney's All-Star Music will have a first aid station run by a registered nurse daily from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. The station is going to be located in the lobby of the hotel and will allow guests to visit for basic services and medical assistance. Most first aid stations on property do not perform any kind of services for major medical problems, but they will be able to administer over-the-counter medication, bandages, and offer simple help. The registered nurse will also be able to assist in finding further medical attention in more serious situations. This new test will run for 3 months, and it isn't just for guests of All-Star Music. Those staying at All-Star Movies and Sports can easily get to the location, but guests from any resort would have the ability to use the services if needed. Walt Disney World is always looking at ways of making things a bit more helpful and convenient for guests, and having a first aid station in a resort hotel run by a registered nurse will surely do that. So that's what's going on. Back to you, Brian.
Mike, thanks for taking us around the world. Now for this week's flash briefing. 125,000 Disney employees will receive a $1,000 cash bonus, and the company launches a new $50 million higher education program. Robert Iger, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company, announced this week that more than 125,000 eligible employees will receive a one-time $1,000 cash bonus. The company will also make an initial investment of $50 million in a new and ongoing education program specifically designed to cover tuition costs for hourly employees. The two new initiatives are a result of the recently enacted tax reform and represent a total allocation of more than $175 million in this fiscal year. All full-time and part-time non-executive employees, either hourly or salary, who have been with the Walt Disney Company since January 1st, 2018, and are based in the United States will be paid a one-time $1,000 cash bonus. Employees will receive the bonus in two payments, the first in March and the second in September of this year. In keeping with applicable federal laws, the company will work with union representatives regarding potential distribution plans for employees currently working under existing union contracts. The company is also launching a new education initiative aimed at its hourly workforce in the United States. Nearly 88,000 hourly employees will be eligible and can utilize the program to make an impactful investment in their future. With this new plan, participants can pursue qualifying higher education or vocational training, including courses unrelated to their current responsibilities at Disney. By creating new opportunities for those who wish to continue their education, employees can advance in their current roles or support their long-term career aspirations. After the initial investment of $50 million, Disney will provide up to $25 million in annual funding going forward. The company's current educational reimbursement program, which is open to full-time employees, will continue and remain unchanged. Now, Mike is back this week after scouring the internet with a new item in this week's segment of Disney items you never knew you wanted. Mike, what do you have for us this week?
Well, we got something pretty unique here this time, Brian. The title for this item on eBay, Walt Disney World Empress Lily Riverboat Flag from Downtown Disney. The seller is Midwest for the best. That's Midwest, the number 4, the best. And the description reads as follows. This is a rare piece of Disney history. Up for auction is the flag from Disney's now-gone Empress Lily Riverboat in Disney Village. The Empress Lily closed its doors for good in 1995, but with this flag, a part of it can live on in your home. It's doubtful that a piece like this will be on the market again. It is truly one of a kind. The flag has been in my husband's possession for over 25 years, and here is the backstory from him. According to the husband, my uncle worked at the front bar of the Empress Lily for years. One day after a particularly bad storm, he found the ship's flag floating on Lake Buena Vista and fished it out. He asked his manager what he should do with it, and he looked at the sopping wet flag and told my uncle to get rid of it. So he dried it out in the basement and gave it to me as a gift. Being sentimental about Disney and my uncle, I've hung on to it all these years, but now it's time to pass it on to someone else who's just as sentimental about Disney and who'll cherish it. The flag measures 11 feet 4 inches long by 42 inches wide. Because this flag was in all-weather use, it shows where one of the corners of the stitching is coming undone, and there's several marks and light stains, as can be expected. The asking price for this? $8,998 for an Empress Lily flag. So that's what we found this week. Now back to you, Brian.
Mike, thank you, sir. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WDW and Beyond's World News. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on all of your favorite social media platforms, and leave a review on iTunes. The more that we hear from you, the more that we can give you what you want. Don't forget to check us out on our website at WDW, the letter N, Beyond.com.